Most of the Beatles' catalog sits comfortably in the realm of greatness. Their songs are instantly recognizable, endlessly celebrated, and the product of four musicians operating at an extraordinary creative peak. Still, even legends stumble now and then, and the Beatles were no different. For every universally adored anthem like Hey Jude, there's a track that divides opinion. Few songs embody that divide more than Maxwell's Silver Hammer, released on Abbey Road in 1969. It has long been dismissed by fans and critics alike, and famously, 3 of the 4 Beatles were no fans either. Paul McCartney stood alone in defending it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. They were wrong, and so are you if you've always written the song off. At face value, Maxwell's Silver Hammer tells the story of Maxwell, a serial killer who dispatches his victims with, yes, a silver hammer. George Harrison once dismissed the song as overly sweet and frivolous, while John Lennon lumped it in with what he considered old-fashioned music hall-style material. Over time, this fed the assumption that the song itself was universally despised within the band. Yet a closer look reveals that their frustration was aimed less at the composition and more at the exhausting process of recording it. McCartney had an exact sound in mind and pursued it relentlessly. His perfectionism meant endless takes and prolonged studio sessions, far more than any other track on the album. That obsession wore down the band's patience and amplified existing tensions. Ringo Starr later described the sessions as the worst of his entire Beatles career, recalling how they dragged on for weeks. Lennon, for his part, associated the song with sheer repetition and wasted effort, convinced McCartney was trying and failing to turn it into a hit single. In hindsight, Harrison's critique of the song's tone was the only comment that actually addressed the music itself. The others were reacting to the misery of making it. McCartney, however, always viewed the song differently. While many of his compositions drew from real life, he often preferred to disguise personal meaning behind fiction. Maxwell's Silver Hammer was one of those inventions, a deliberately absurd narrative, populated by imaginary characters, meant to reflect the randomness and cruelty of life's collapse. Calling a song about a killer who murders a student, a teacher, and even the judge presiding over his own trial silly may seem odd, but that contrast is exactly the point. Musically, the track fits neatly alongside the Beatles' lighter moments, recalling the charm of songs like Octopus's Garden or When I'm 64. It's catchy, meticulously arranged, and built around one of McCartney's undeniable hooks, complete with its famously theatrical metallic clank. What sets it apart is the lyrical twist. The cheerfully bouncy melody clashes spectacularly with the grim subject matter. That collision of tone and content is pure black comedy, and McCartney pulls it off with remarkable precision. The song unfolds like a miniature drama, something he once likened to an ideal radio play, and it's easy to imagine it translated into film or television. Admittedly, dark humor isn't for everyone. Appreciating Maxwell's Silver Hammer requires a certain taste for the macabre, the same sensibility that finds irony and laughter in unsettling places. But in that sense, the song was arguably ahead of its time. In today's cultural landscape, where dark comedy is far more widely embraced, a fresh re-evaluation would likely treat it far more kindly. And in doing so, it might finally confirm what its defenders have been saying all along. Maxwell's Silver Hammer isn't a misstep, it's a misunderstood triumph.